So we'll start off with Manchester City and their fan protests in midweek during the game against Leicester. The fans obviously didn't come out straight away. It was 9 minutes when an awful lot of them stayed behind to show their displeasure at the current ticket situation at Man City. How, how do you think the club might react to that?
Uh, Look, they know the issue, so I don't think I don't think fan displeasure is anything that's not known to the club or the strength of feeling, and it's been brewing for a while. And uh, they have teams of people who are responsible for liaison on these issues now. So it's not about knowledge. Um, they've obviously got an issue. Um, Generally, they've got season ticket numbers where they're restraining the number of new tickets. They've got a new stand that's being built, um, and they're getting increasing amounts of infiltration of home supporters by either neutrals or active fans of other teams, and that's causing issues with fights and just general irritation to fans who sit in those parts of the stadium. So, but all of this is known. It's not coming to their attention for the first time because of this protest the other night. So, I would imagine that there is an internal task force that's looking at how they can resolve these issues. Because the last thing we want to do right now is have these sorts of ongoing battles with the fans.
Absolutely. And then moving on to some of the accounts that have been published, the Premier League accounts showed their administrative expenses reached £200 million in 2023-24. I believe that also includes the legal fees they've spent as well. Is that set to rise significantly this season after the Man City 115 charges case?
I mean, it's pretty scary numbers, really, when you look at it, because you're talking about, I would think, in excess of £100 million of legal spend, external legal spend by the Premier League. Because if it's 200 million on the administrative costs, it's hard to see how, if you look at the historic pattern and what was spent historically, it's hard to see how that could have been. It could be less than £100 million just on the legal side. Now, if you break down 24-25, so the current season, and compare it to what was going on last year. Last year may have had a lot of the preparation for a lot of the stuff that's happened this year, so that may well have an impact. But generally, there's just an enormous amount of stuff that's gone on this year since 31st of July. You've had City's 115 case actually start and happen over 3 months. I mean, that would have been extraordinarily expensive because they had a team of about 8 barristers as well as the firm acting for them. They had the associated party transaction saga. Most of it took place, the actual hearing took place in June, so fine, that's in last year. But then they had APT2 being up and running. It will happen sometime before July. They had the reaction to APT1, i.e. dealing with all of the fallout from it. We had the changes of all the drafting. You've got this whole new regime of PSR that they're trying to bring in. Then you've got PSR cases, or investigations anyway. You had the Everton case that was dropped in January. We know the Chelsea investigation still going. Anyway, there's loads of things going on this side of things. So very good chance that it's going to be even more expensive. Next year. So it's a little bit out of control, I think, the spend. Because remember, this is on top of. This is not just the legal spend. They've got an enormous team in house as well. This is just the external cost, and then on top of that, we know that they've had even some of the non-executive directors dealing with some of the fair market value assessments. So we know from the APT hearing that part of the adjudication panel included one of the non-executive directors even. She was getting up at 4 a.m. to review important reports and documents. So I don't know. It's very hard to understand why it's so expensive. Obviously, there's a lot of conflict around. There's a lot of difficult decisions. You know, they've got this difficult case with Leicester that's ongoing that they're appealing, but still, £100 million is just an enormous amount of money.